So if you're in West Virginia or anywhere in America and you've been receiving the child tax credit, I have really bad news for you. Wednesday was your last check. Congress has failed, as I call it, the incompetent branch, because it's not the legislative branch of the United States, it's the incompetent branch. You can't do a darn thing. I mean, its approval rating is lower than cockroaches. I'm not even kidding. You can look that up. So anyways, on to the next thing. But we're going to talk about that and talk about everything related to this. So here's the Build Back Better Act. That's what the child tax credits were in. This also included these programs, which I'm going to go through. And it really only leads up to, from what's been authorized in this bill, $200 billion in a deficit, which is, for our current Congress, which is very, I don't know, we can't tax anybody because the E word, it's an E word, which you'll see later why they can't tax billionaires. Not because it's bad policy, it's really good policy. They're billionaires. The trickle-down economics is a myth. I can understand why you would want to not increase taxes on corporations, because corporations get, when they have the slightest tax, they go, ah, and flee from the country or whatever. But rich people don't do that. Rich people stay put. They really do not want to live in United Arab Emirates or China because they're oppressive. But put their business there, that's another story. They're fine with that, visiting there. They're fine with that, but living there, that's another story. But so there's the point. 200 billion. Like, why? It's just 200 billion. That's not that much in the sense of government. But, and what's currently going on. The bill's cost is about 2.4 trillion. And let me go through its provisions for you. So, affordable childcare, affordable universal pre-K. Many countries and states already have this. France, Kingdom has a subsidy. I don't know. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. I'm not sure about that one, actually. Excuse me. Got confused. But West Virginia, it has it. Norway has it. Sweden has it. Finland has a heavily subsidized, with much of the population free on childcare. All these places have subsidized or free. France, its preschools have been free in the 1800s. Denmark, heavily subsidized. Oklahoma has universal pre-K. It's Florida is free pre-K. We're talking about Oklahoma here. There's not a single Democrat county in Oklahoma. And even they can get to that. We're also talking about Florida. It's literally the anti-California. I mean, they're literally opposites. Like, one is young, one is old, one is Democrat and one is Republican, but they both have Disneyland, Disney World. They both have Disney and they both have nice beaches, and there's a bunch of other similarities. It's like literally the same, but they're opposites. And so, I mean, and childcare is an issue where a lot of single mothers have to deal with, especially Black people, and especially, like, it's an issue that could really help bring people out of poverty. It's really bad that we have not had a federal welfare program in any sense of the word relating to this issue, because that would really help. It's like, how am I supposed to work when I have to take care of a child? Yeah, I know this picture is not that great, the image. I mean, she's off. I mean, it's bad, but anyways, so, and then this bill also includes paid family leave and paid maternity leave, or paid family leave, paid paid sick leave. This would help businesses and people, but yet Manchin's been against that for whatever reason. Senator Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. I mean, every other country, pretty much almost every other country has it. Even this one's like, look, US has it. Or maternity leave, US doesn't have it. Is that Ghana or Suriname doesn't have it there? I don't remember. And then Papua New Guinea. Like, those are the only 3 countries that don't have it. What? Oh, there's 8, but I don't see the other 8. But anyway, what the heck? Why is this? Why? We're one of 8 countries that doesn't have it. All of the other Western countries have either 12 or to 24 weeks or at least 24 weeks. Iran has it. China has it. Brazil has it. Argentina has it. South Africa has it. Heck, even the DRC somehow claims to have it. And the US does not. Wait a second. Not there yet. Sorry. And then paid work leave. Again, we're one of the only one of the only Western countries that doesn't paid sick leave. We don't have paid sick leave. And during COVID, this is ridiculous. I mean, come on, this meme here. We need to make this go away. Come on, please. This should go away. I mean, there should be no reason for this meme to exist. And everyone else has proposed 24, but this bill only is proposed 4. Only 4. Only 4. Clean energy. This bill also contains clean energy. It's about 550 billion of it. There's clean electric vehicles. There's help for workers, for students. There's help. There's affordable housing money. There's limits on drug prices. There's adding hearing aids to things that Medicare can do. There's reducing Medicare costs through allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices, which costs the taxpayer. But that's also in the revenue portion. There's things to help fill in the coverage gap in the ACA. So we technically have universal health care. Not that great because we could do better than the Affordable Care Act, but not getting into that right now. But anyway, because we're the only Western country, again, that does not have this. Australia has it. Trump even said about how Australia's healthcare was so great. Well, it's a universal healthcare system, which the Republican Party is against. It's like, again, with his gun control thing. He doesn't know what he's. At any rate, and we're also talking about Finland. Okay, you say communism. No, you don't understand what communism and socialism are. You really don't. I mean, Finland fought a war, has this, and they're considered socialist, but yet they fought their like origin story, like us fighting, getting rid of Britain is going up as superpower, is going up against the Soviet Union and winning. And I mean, this is an old map. And you should notice these Iraq and Afghanistan are in orange here. This was years ago, and it's because Iraq and Afghanistan have universal health coverage provided by US war funding. But yet, countries with no universal health care system, the United States. Why are we funding other countries' universal health care but not our own? That doesn't make sense. And this also does have stuff with immigration to do it. However, I'm not sure if that's going to get past the parliamentarian. I doubt it. I doubt it's going to get past like Elizabeth Thungborough because of the filibuster or because of the Byrd rule, but we're not going into that either. That's not why I'm talking about. Anyways, and it also does salt cuts, which is the bad provision in the bill. because apparently the Joneses need to keep up with tax cuts to keep up with each other. However, it's a compromise, but it doesn't compromise the bill, so it's a compromise, yo. It's fine. I mean, maybe that was the wrong wording, but it's a compromise here. I mean, if you go down here, they reduce it and it goes to 209 voting. I don't know how they did this, but this is nonpartisan source about this. They get 300 billion back. I don't know how that comes out, but yes. And meet King Manchin of the Senate. Bow down to the royal corrupt oligarch. This is Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. And for some reason, Manchin goes against his own state, which tanks is the Build Back Better Act and the child tax credit. His complaint is it the child tax credit, because he made a deal in October that required it to only be extended for a year. Now he's gone back on that deal, requiring it to be extended for a full 10 years. And still the bill be under 2 trillion, or be around 2 trillion. This makes no sense. None whatsoever. None. But at any rate, I mean, it's done here. No state is that's more impacted by the child tax credit than West Virginia. And child tax credit payments went out to 81,000 West Virginia families, according to the Treasury Department figures. Payments in average $446 and reached 305,000 children across the US. But they're ending this month because they did not pass it by Christmas. Personally, if Congress does not squanders their whole year on doing legislation, gets nothing done like they have, then they shouldn't go home for Christmas. If they're causing children to be hungry because they don't get something they could have done all year done, then Biden should reconvene them. He has that power, but apparently he doesn't care because Biden sleeps. Biden just doesn't do anything. He's incompetent. Because Biden, anyway, we need to elect better presidents. Like, come on, this is not a popularity contest. We don't need to get the 2 most famous people. Usually those are the bad options. Like, seriously, Justin Trudeau, he's a figure of the left, like he was honored before. He's a bad character. Andrew Cuomo, great on COVID. They didn't mention the governor of West Virginia, which has actually been pretty good. The governor of Alaska, which also has been pretty good. The governor of Vermont, and Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, who's been really good on COVID. They never mentioned any of them. None of them were mentioned. Instead, Andrew Cuomo, because his brother was on CNN, so he had his own caught up in his own followings. It fell down too with like his brother, and also because he's one of the most populous states. This needs to stop. Please stop doing that. Another one, Democrats always pick, Trump's bad, Biden's bad. They're both bad. Can we pick better candidates, please? Please pick better candidates. If Andrew Cuomo is not a good character, there's another example like this. Joe Kennedy. Joe Kennedy is another example. Bad character, but yet he gets good ratings because people like his speeches. We need good people that do good governing. Not ones that make good speeches. Not ones that make good speeches. Another good example is current governor of California, which I can't think of at the top of my head. 50,000 children in the state are in danger of slipping into poverty if payments lapse, which they are going to. An estimate is 1 in 5 West Virginia children lives in poverty, and 93% of the state is eligible for child tax credit payments. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck in West Virginia with children, I'm really sorry for you. Studies suggest that this would cut child poverty with by 40%. 4.1 million American children will be lifted out of poverty, with 52% of the money spent on food and 39% going to clothing and other essentials needed children. And Democratic talks with Manchin meltdown. This is a more conservative source, and it's an accurate source. Oops. And he walks back at the deal on his own deal. They shook on that deal. Manchin demanded that limitation of 1 year. And now, because they went into it, now he's mad. What the heck is wrong with Manchin? Think why? Here's your answer. Here he is on a yacht, almost heaven. And here he is in a Maserati. And also, just, he's a corrupt millionaire himself. I'm king of the Senate and in the pocket of billionaires. So who cares about West Virginia children? Manchin says, come on, we need to do better than this. It's not the first negotiation he did on this. He did this to tax on billionaires too. This was days apart, October 27th and October 25th. October 25th, Joe Manchin says he's open to slapping new taxes on billionaires to pay for Biden's social spending package. This bill. And then just a couple days later, Joe Manchin says he doesn't like targeting different people, and the ultra wealthy have contributed to society and created lots of jobs. Bullshit. They have not. That's not how this works. They have not. That's not what happens. Billionaires do not create more jobs when they get more money. I'll discuss that in a later video. That's not how it works, because they're addicted to money. And yet, Manchin claims to be against wars. Like, just us getting into so many wars. But he votes to pass the defense bill, which is $731 billion, which may sound, understandable, but hold on a second, because it's 2.4 trillion. But the Build Back Better Act is 2.4 trillion over 10 years. This is the version passed by the House, by the way. The defense spending bill is 731 billion over 1 year. That is 7.3 trillion over 10 years. Manchin said on the 6 trillion plan of infrastructure and social spending that was produced by Bernie Sanders, he balks at it specifically because of the cost. And yet, here's his reward. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce launches ads targeting him to try to make sure that he doesn't make sure those child tax credits are dead. Doesn't get those billionaire tax passed. He does not represent the working class in Virginia, after all. A yacht and a Maserati. I'm king of the Senate and pocket of billionaires. So who cares about West Virginian children? Who cares if they starve? This is what Joe Manchin says. Joe Manchin is not the right choice for America or West Virginia. My message to people out there, if you're in West Virginia, call and leave a message for Manchin at 202-224-3954, telling him to reinstate the child tax credit. And everyone, please do your research into whether your candidate actually represents you in their policy decisions. Because right now, 95% of politicians, either party, don't represent 95% of America. I know it's hard right now. It's hard to find time for that. And everything that's going on right now is really tough. And it can easy to get into cynicalism, and this sounds a little cynical, but I promise you, I'm not completely cynical about this. But we'll get through this together. I know it's hard, but we need to come together with compassion, and we'll get through this together. We need to support each other. And thank you. So, yep.